in the street, protests in London. So this is about the education problems. It's a crisis because youth want better access to education. Either their demands are totally free education or affordable education, because lately the government has raised the tuition and the fees. They've made some changes, privatization and this and that. So with this adjustment of the education system, especially colleges and university level, it's made a lot of people just fall through the cracks. They don't know what they're going to do. They can't get into college. So let's talk about this. I mean, are the demands unreasonable that the protesters are making? Does it strike anybody as too extreme that that a population is asking to be educated instead of being confronted by a world that is, just this oblique view of what you're going to do for the future? You don't have skills. You don't have anything that qualifies you for a career or qualifies you for a place in society. So where does the problem start with? Well, I'm going to tell everybody where the problem starts with. You have to go back to youth, early childhood. If the education system is not good from the primary level, first grade and upwards, we're talking about as soon as they can potty train, 3 years old, 4 years old, and up. That first 10 years of being trained and socialized. That decade, the first decade of life, if that is not handled properly, then no amount of college, higher education is going to help the individual. Whether it's free or expensive and you're going to have to be in debt the rest of your life, that doesn't make any difference. There's not one that's better or worse. The education is not going to make the person's life better, and if you can't get into the college and hang out with all your buddies, all your mates, they're all there, we all want to hang out again, high school continues, it's not going to help a person. Because in the first decade of being socialized, institutionalized, educationalized, the education that you get has to be practical. It has to be sound. It has to be firm. It has to be fundamental. It has to be valuable, worthwhile. Then there won't be these protests. To me, the protests are legitimate. They are valid. And how I would interpret it is that this whole slice of the population, unfortunately, does not feel satisfied. They don't feel prepared for the world. They feel like they need money for things. They feel like they need to fit in and function, but that's not being done. That's not happening. They're not able to do that proactively. So all they can do is go out and protest. Protest is a vent to like an internal dissatisfaction. See, there's a longing in the soul. It's at a soul level. These people don't feel like their future is good. They don't feel like they're being paid attention to. They don't feel like they're being given enough. So they're protesting. It's against the Tories. It's against a system that is, Tories are conservative. They're old school. They're like establishment. They're like oligarchy. And to protest against that means here's the haves and the rulers, and here's the have-nots who are trying to come up in the world. Maybe they're just looking for the bare basic minimum in life, but yet they don't have it. You really got to stop that noise, please. I do not need to hear rattling right now. Rattle all you want in the protest, but I've spoken my piece. And there needs to be a solution in London, the major city of England, the UK, United Kingdom, the British rule Britannia. Yeah. And the same thing goes for America, United States of America. This is the New World. This is the Western world. This is NATO. This is the powers that be. This is the free world. Yeah. Democracy, or if you want, just call it mocracy. They need a solution. We need to get back to basics and start raising a generation the right way, or the proper way, or a practical way, a sustainable way. What do we do right now with the population that's come up amidst injustice and unfairness and chaos? What do we do with the generation that was born in the 80s, 90s, and even after the turn of the century, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003? What do we do with these people that are going to be coming of age and they need a better life, such as myself? I totally relate. I'm like a teenager that's never grown up, who feels like a rebel with the cause. Do we have to continue protesting and nothing comes of it? And how are we going to continue our life? Well, I've been doing this basically since the late 70s and 80s. Me, yeah, I'm basically 50. So how do I survive? I've been surviving by protesting and realizing how much it doesn't do for me. I've wasted my energy. Well, it's not a waste. I had fun. I had to vent. I had to express myself. But I'm still in the same kind of world. I just keep rolling on and trying to survive. What are we going to do with all the people that really don't fit in? I mean, it would be nice to fit in, but you still have to live, if you care about yourself, knowing that you don't fit in. You're one of the have-nots. What do we do? Well, we have to do what we have to do to create a better world for all, especially the future generations. So no matter what, work for the future, work for the children that are yet to be born, but do it for yourself at the same time. It has to be integral. Create communities amongst yourself. I recommend not being so dependent on the government if you can. Minimize that, because then it just becomes a welfare state. That is the downside. That is the worst scenario of what they call socialism or socialistic nanny state. We basically need to find ways, alternative, if you want to call it, that we are able to educate ourselves. Go out and get practical skills. Join together. I mean, like, create things such as guilds, or just intentional communities. Have meetings and get together and do that. Like, everyone's got to basically share on a grassroots level. I'm not talking about sharing with what the government has, because that's not likely to happen. So while you're protesting and trying to get them to give you something and make it a more equitable system, you still need to be helping yourself, which I'm sure people are doing. I'm just giving you a reminder. I don't want to, like, talk down to anybody. I'm just saying, a person of, like, I have a lot of experience with this, and we get together a lot of times wherever we are, share resources, share our feelings, share your wisdom, share your skill. Do little workshops, like little teaching things, conferences. Use the internet for that. Do videos. Find out, like, these kind of things when you share and you give inspiring stories to people about how you survived. And that's what we need to do to get by. And as far as revolution, people that are calling for revolution, I'm not sure that you have what it takes for a real revolution. Number one, there needs to be, like, a real explanation or a real program and plan for revolution of where it's actually going to push through, break through to the other side. Initial revolution, just a spark, doesn't usually do much. So people also need leadership to carry this through, because a random bunch of people bouncing off each other in a protest is not a full revolution. The buzzword of revolution is that it's a hype, and Occupy, what did that do? Anarchy, what does that do? I mean, anarchy is a great state. It's ideal, in a small society, but in a larger global society that we all live in, especially the teenagers that are trying to look and have a good view of the future, we want revolution, but there is really no plan for that. So we're stuck in this tension right now, folks. I give you my blessings to London to do the right thing, and everybody needs to do what they have